Hello, Mark Petzold here, Freedom Fire USA. Thanks for watching this video. The topic of this video is going to be enemies within the church. And just so you know, Freedom Fire USA is a platform I put together where I can express my views, which are as one of a husband, father, grandfather, Tea Party leader, which that element gives kind of a unique view that I think you will find compelling, provocative, and unusual. And I hope you enjoy it, and I do appreciate your feedback. I don't want this just to be a one-way street. So thank you very much for watching. Okay, enemies within the church. This comes on the back. This video comes on the back of an event that Crystal and I went to tonight. Um, this event was actually a fundraiser for a movie called Enemies Within the Church. Um, just so you know, this movie is another. It comes on the back of a movie called Enemies Within the Government. Um, Compelling movie. There's also somewhat related to the Agenda movies, Agenda 1, Agenda 2, all really great movies. But I think this one here will probably be on the neighborhood of the Unplanned movie that's recently come out. It'll be viewed similar ways in the movie theaters and so on. And I really appreciate it because honestly, this movie picks at one of the main root causes of the country's problems. And when I say the problem, I say our rights are being infringed on. The trend line is there. You can feel passionate about Trump, other things, but we're still struggling with our liberties in America, and Trump won't be president forever. So if that's where you put your faith, there's term limits. So just let's think about this beyond election cycles. And actually, that was part of the discussion tonight, was talking about the fact that we need to think generationally. So back to the movie. Enemies Within the Church is discussing people, the organized effort that's gone in for decades to infiltrate the church. When I say the church, I mean the literal church, but also the seminaries, different areas of the Catholic Church, but even in the evangelical church. Yep, you heard me. Even in the evangelical church. So the social justice warrior elements, the elements of religion contained in it that's actually a false religion. Jesus was not a Marxist. Jesus was not a progressive. Um, and it addressed all those things. But make no mistake, uh, our liberties are infringed on because we are not an educated, moral people, and our faith is weak, and we're even not even, that's not even a zero, we're misguided. We aren't even at zero, we're misguided as a collective church. So that's what this movie is about. Um, just so you know, there's like Trevor Loud in there, a pastor named Kerry Gordon from Iowa that's been very instrumental, um, dealing with a lot of big topics that we've dealt with over the last 10 years or so. He's been on the front line. There's a lot to say about him. Judd Saw, he's the producer. These people do a good job. This is not, duct tape and baling wire type movie. This is going to be well done. So I encourage you to look it up, Enemies Within the Church. So now you'll find with these videos that I won't just talk about what was talked about. I will talk about also what wasn't talked about. And I think it's pretty important. Honestly, I don't know if the guys are in alignment with what I'm saying and what I'm going to say, but I'm going to go there. And I would go so far as to say if they are in alignment, and if they would have said what I'm about to say, they probably wouldn't have been a very successful fundraiser. Matter of fact, probably a lot of people would have got up and walked out. I'm just being honest with you, bluntly honest. And hope you're still watching this video, and I haven't made you too irritated yet. But I hope you find what I'm saying compelling and will digest it, okay? So, there's the element of talking about the left, which is the liberal Democrats that are full on Marxist and have just gone off the reservation. They're not Kennedy Democrats. They're gone. So I won't belabor that point. It's self evident. But what was talked about was the right, and was talked about this time period of Trump where it's a bit of a respite, and I do agree with that actually. It is a time the economy is doing well. We should be being productive and so on and so forth. But what I'm going to tell you is there's a spirit on the right that is not healthy, and that spirit will yield bad fruit if we don't deal with it. And there's a spirit of idolatry on the right. Let me ask you this. So I know you're mad at me again. Hopefully you're still watching. But if well, who gets the glory for the economy right now? Is it God? Just wondering. I mean, there's a lot of people that say God's using Trump, whatever, and God has a plan. All things work together for good for those who love God and who are called to His purpose. I do believe that. So, but still, the predominant thing is in America, it's Trump's economy, is it not? I mean, usually somebody will say, "Oh, it's God's economy." They'll back into it, right? But and that's after worshiping Trump for a period of time. Uh, you know, if freedoms were completely restored in America, if the righteousness and truth was just full on in our land, would God get the glory for it? I maintain that in our heritage, and it's good to know our heritage, that back in the day, the people fighting for our freedoms had firm reliance on divine providence. They understood miracles, and I believe they expected them, and they saw them. There's lots and lots of stories of miracles in our heritage. I believe uh, the same thing remains for America today. That because we are a Christian country, that born on Christian principles, that it would make sense that we need to get our house in order for Americanism to be restored in our land. So, if you would consider that's what I'm hoping you would do, is look for uh, areas of idolatry. So, and I apologize. These videos I don't stop. Okay, I don't edit them. It's one and done all the way through. This is an important point that I need to make, is that the evidence of what I'm saying, and I gave a pretty harsh criticism of, a lot of the people that are watching this video likely, and even myself, I struggle with it. But the question is do you see God in our culture? When I say our culture, I mean the culture on the quote unquote right. Do you see the fruits of the Spirit? Love, joy, peace, happiness, self control? I don't really think so. Look on my Facebook page. Um, Look at the comments about Justin Amash. I'll go ahead. I'll go there about Justin Amash because it's a hot issue right now, and I think it's one of the key case in points. Okay, I see people calling on the right, calling Justin a pedophile. I see him calling him a Muslim. I see him calling him a Democrat. By that I mean the liberal left that you see. I see people not willing to acknowledge his voting record, which he's his 90% score according to Conservative Review, which is Mark Levin's organization that is currently attacking Justin Amash, even though he has that scorecard, never addressing that scorecard. Do you see these things? Do you see the hatred? How about, I had a Facebook post, I mentioned this in a previous video, but I had a gentleman basically say I should be tried for treason. And you know what happens when you're tried for treason, right? You get shot. It's one thing for that guy to make the comment, and to be honest with you, I don't know about his faith. I don't know how strong he is. But you know what I didn't see? I didn't see anybody saying, guy, that's kind of out of bounds, really. I mean, Mark's just being objective about this thing. He's presenting a contrarian view. That's not treason. That's American. To actually have a conscience and to have freedom to express the conscience. And so really nobody came to my defense. Now, I do want to state that what I just said is not in a spirit of a victim spirit. Okay, the victim spirit is far more prevalent on the fruits of the spirit in America, which is evidence of the sick portion that we have in our country. And so the beautiful thing is this all can be changed pretty easily. When the righteousness of God comes in and the Holy Spirit flows through us, it's like a light switch being thrown on, and we can all work on the areas in our life that we need to work on together. And when we do that, we'll be in position to go into culture and go into government. But mark my words, if we continue down this path that we're in of the victim spirit, hatred, greed, and envy of the right, the snapback from that will echo. And it will be more painful than if Trump weren't ever elected. Trump is not going to be president forever. And if we sell our souls, if we prostitute who we are, if we give the keys, if we take a big old bite out of the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, if we revel in that because we're smart, we can handle this time. We don't need God. If we do those things, it's the rule of the farm. What you plant in the spring, you'll harvest in the fall. And I don't want to harvest that, if you don't mind. And actually, it's one thing for me to harvest it, but how about the future generations coming down the line? I certainly don't want them to harvest it. So hopefully we can join together and work on this. And God bless everybody. Thanks again for watching, and God help us restore America. Thank you. Good night.